WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have from Gordon MacPhail, yay. Connoisseurs Choice, yay. Tormore Distillery, yay. 27-year-old mega, yay. 57.2% single malt Scotch whiskey from a first fill sherry butt. Cask number 8348. So 570 bottles. After 27 years, you do notice how I sighed there. So I find it hard to believe that this is actually from one sherry butt, the entire full maturation. All right, so we're talking about over 400 liters. That's less than 1% every year. Really don't think so. I think Gordon MacPhail, excuse me for this assumption, Gordon MacPhail, I think they took two old hogshead, put them together, and finished them here in a first fill sherry butt. First of all, the color is not representative of 27 years in a first fill sherry butt. And second of all, the bottle numbers just don't add up, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but who knows. So, we do have a little bit, at least over here in Europe, the phrase 10 euros per year for a single cask strength bottling. All right, so a normal Buna 12, no, it should not cost 120 euros. That'd be stupid. But a single barrel 12-year-old Buna in cask strength, that could cost 120. And so here we have 27 years of age, so we're talking 270 euros. And what is the price of this? 279, 274, 169, and one person actually has it on sale at the moment, even though it came out in January of 2023 for 259. All right, so what am I going to compare it to? I have here the Strathisle 17-year-old Connoisseur's Choice from Gordon MacPhail. This was in a so-called refill sherry hogshead, and with 56.3%. Now, this over here, the Tormore is Whiskybase number 224898, and the Strathisle is Whiskybase 232775. Here are 327 bottles. Here I have 570 bottles. So where's my glass? Let's put the lid back right. All right, so this is all cardboard, no metal whatsoever, 100% recyclable. Gordon MacPhail, thank you. All right, if I'm paying 150 to 280 euros for a bottle of whiskey, I want some type of box. All right, that's just me. I might be wrong with my thought process, but this does give a little bit more protection, and this does give a little bit more of a quality. And I have no problem whatsoever taking this bottle, putting it on my shelf, throwing this away as soon as I'm home, and still not feeling bad about it. All right, so I feel bad sometimes at the moment about something like this from Signature Vintage. Metal, I know it's just sheet metal, but still, that's the way things are. Now, Tormore, the distillery. I like what here the whiskey yearbook wrote here. That was kind of like a funny thing here. It was by some considered the worst kept secret in the Scotch whiskey industry for at least 6 months, however. In June 2022, it became official. Chevis Brothers sold Tormore to whiskey specialist Elixir distillers. Now, to be honest, it was a secret to me. I did not know that. So last year, June 2022, Elixirs, those are the people who used to own the Whiskey Exchange. They sold the Whiskey Exchange to Pernod Ricard. Pernod Ricard sold them this distillery, Tormore, which is amazing. And they're also building, Elixirs are building their own distillery on Islay at the moment. All right. So they have elements of Islay. They have Port Ascay. They have, I think, Scots of malts of Scotland. They have all these different brands from Elixir. They're doing a very, very good job, actually. I think it's amazing what they're doing here. here. The company is owned by the brothers here, and last year they sold the famous retailer, the Whiskey Exchange, to Pernod Ricard. At the same time, they are involved in building a distillery in Islay, and the Tormore deal included stock of whiskey, and the new owners plan to expand the distillery with a visitor center. So, built 1958. So it's now 60, almost 4 years of age, and has a capacity of 4.8 million liters. Now, there are not that many independently bottled Tormores out there. There are not that many independently bottled Strath Isle Stout out there. Both Pernod Ricard. Interesting. Where Gordon MacPhail have their connections and their tentacles involved in things over here. Now, first fill sherry, but as I said, refill sherry hogshead. On the nose, if I go over here to Tormore, it's okay. But it's not a €279 wow moment. There is a little bit of a spiciness. There's a little bit of vanilla-ness. But nothing where I'm going, wow, this is just amazing. So the Tormore was batch 22. It was bottled in the year 2022, and it was 088. Interesting enough, the Strath Isle here, this was also batched, bottled. Wait a second, I have to look here. There's also, it was also bottled, and it is 22. And where do we have this here? Okay, 220134. So between this and this, there's over about 50 different bottlings from the same bottling line from Gordon MacPhail here. So interesting enough. 50 bottles a year, that's not bad. So this was bottled in the 19th of May 2022. The Strath Isle, and this was bottled on the 24th of April 2022. Just 1 month in between. Not bad. So, different bottling lines. Who knows what bottling line they used for this? If I look at this here, no, I don't think it would actually tell me. It just says here 1905-2022, and then 220134, and over here it says 23, is that right? No, 2204-2022, and has 220085, and that's it on information. I don't even know if Gordon MacPhail have their own bottling line. Does anyone know that? Write it down in the chat and the comments if you know if Gordon MacPhail have their own bottling line, or if they actually subcontract that out, which I would expect, and I don't think that's wrong at all. Now, if I go to the Strath Isle, on the nose, I go, yummy. I don't know why, but I really, really like this. This has a old sherry moment. I get orange peel, I get raisins, I get a little bit of cinnamon and clove going on here. This is very, very good. The 17-year-old Strath Isle, and the 27-year-old Tormore is a little bit more reluctant to show itself. Yes, there's a little bit of flavor here, but it's not outstanding. The bottle says, so vanilla. Okay, aromas combined with stewed apples, subtle spices, sweet apple pie, orange peel, milk chocolate flavors give way to charred oak. A medium finish with black pepper. That black pepper worries me a little bit. Those are fairly generic for me tasting notes here. If I go over here, I am going to have here rich stewed raisin aromas give way to figs and Seville orange. Sweet spice flavors are followed by Morello cherry and roast coffee beans. A full nutty finish. Even for me, at this, a full and not medium. So this actually has a much stronger sherry influence than this. And that's also one of the reasons, wait a second, 27 years in a first fill sherry, but nah. If it would have said refill sherry, but I wouldn't even be discussing it. I wouldn't even be doubting it. But 27 years in the first fill sherry butt and such subtle moments, I have my problems. All right, so let's try this here. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There is a hotness here. The whole time it's just like, yes, there are flavors, but very. Remember, I sometimes like to have like a volume knob, and sometimes it's even too much. It's like 11 where it should be 10, and sometimes it's 6 and 7. This is the flavor at the beginning of like 4, and then it dials it up towards the end with a finish about 6. There's a little bit of a mineral moment going on here. Tormore, the official bottlings are 14 and 16-year-old. I actually like the 14 a little bit more than 16. We'll see what Alexia distillers do in the future here to that bottling expression, that range that they have there. I hope we have more Tormore bottles out there, or they're going to create other things. I don't know. There is a little bit of orange peel. There is a little bit of a black tea moment going on in here. There is vanilla. There is baked apples. I think, what did they say? Stewed apples? They talked about stewed apples here. I don't have much milk chocolate. I have a little bit of orange peel, as I said. I do get the oak, that mineral. It's a little bit in German, astringent. That's the word. Astringent here. It's everything except wow. It's nice. It's not 279 euros nice. It's not 27. I don't get 27 years of age here. I don't get the age. If you would have said this is a nice 12, 14-year-old year bottling, 14-year-old bottling, I would have went, oh yeah, that's about right. I really think that the casks that were used before the finishing cask, and I still am assuming, I don't know, they were quiet casks. And someone just said, well, what are we going to do? Bottle it as something that's okay, or try to make it in something that people want at the moment? We want darker colors. The Gordon MacPhail Connoisseurs Choice is always non-chilled filtered, no color added. Usually single cask, maybe a small batch every once in a while, in cask strength usually. And they needed something here that makes it special. So put it in a first fill sherry butt. Boom, and see what happens. What I thoroughly appreciate, and I cannot say that enough, and it should be something that is self-evident, but unfortunately in the whiskey world at the moment, at least the whiskeys I'm buying, no sulfur. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that has to do with Gordon MacPhail supplying often their own casks. So they do have a certain quality control to filter out those bad, evil, demonic sherry casks with sulfur in them. Second try. Yeah. It's a C plus whiskey. But if I'm going to put down 280 euros of my hard-earned money, I want a B plus whiskey. If I'm going to buy a 27-year-old masterpiece, I want something that goes, wow. It's a C plus. Value for money, C minus. It's, if you really want to try it, go for it. If you really want something. Now, the thing that I want to mention is, that I haven't mentioned yet, is some people like to buy a whiskey from their year of birth. And that's getting fairly expensive, all right? So my youngest son was born after this whiskey was made, and my oldest son was born before. So this is about where you're about 30s, and you're looking for a whiskey. Now, tip number 1, buy a whiskey before it reaches the year of your birthday. So this, in the year 2024, if it's still around, is going to go up about $100 in price. Why? Because it's like, hey, everyone's going to buy a birthday whiskey. Oh, look, it was distilled 30 years ago. I want that for my birthday present. Boom. And the price is just going to jump. So buy it now. Buy it 1 or 2 years in advance. And this is a beautiful whiskey. And imagine, this was bottled on the 22nd of April, 2022. Now imagine your birthday was the 22nd of April, 1994. So you have a bottle distilled in 1994. You have a bottle actually bottled on the day of your birthday, the 22nd of April. That's what we're looking for. All right, for that, I don't think you can buy a much better bottle. All right, so if your birthday is the 22nd of April, 1994, and you want to buy a bottle for your 30th birthday, bam, that's what you need. You can open it next year, and you're going to be a happy, happy sailor. It's a good whiskey. It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's not astronomically wonderful, but it is a good, solid whiskey. And it's 27 years of age. Now, of course, you want to have a 30-year-old whiskey and so on and so on. And if your birthday is maybe, as I said, in April, I don't know if you're going to get bottles that have actually been bottled by then or whatever. And the price do go up for those products just because of supply and demand. If you're looking for something which is just a fantastic whiskey, personal opinion once again, I really did like the Strathisla. All right, so the Strathisla cask number, you ready for this? 156041106 with 56.3%. This is fabulous. Now, this is a Germany only exclusive, I know, but the nose, and the palate. This is old school sherry for me. There is heat here. I can water it down and I can wait for the second sip. And for somehow the second sip transforms itself into something even better. But I really, really like this. So that's my personal opinion. So question number 1. What is your favorite Tormore whiskey? Is it the 14? Is it 16? Is it an independent bottling? Second question, what is your favorite product from Connoisseurs Choice from Gordon MacPhail? Write it down in the comments. That'd be very, very great. WhiskyJason here. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, telling others, and sharing. See you very soon. Bye-bye.